welcome. Day 4. Here we are. I am so excited. How were days 1, 2, and 3? Let me know. I want to see. Email me. Hop into the Soul Journey Sisterhood. Put a post up in there. I want to see what your feels are about the self-love miniseries so far. And I am ready. I am ready to start spicing things up. So we are going to start talking about self-love as an access to spicing up our intimate relationships. Now, we today are talking about emotions. And you're like, I thought we were going to get spicy. I thought we were talking about, and I wanted to get in the bedroom. We are going to get there, I promise. But here's the thing we have to grasp. Our emotions drive us. There are no good or bad emotions. There are just good and bad responses to emotions. And we're only as good. Our relationships, our intimate relationships and connections are only as good and as strong and as deep as our intimate relationship with ourselves. And our ability to handle emotions. We as women have a tendency to compound our emotions. Emotions have about a 7-minute shelf life. They come up. If we allow ourselves to feel them, they come up, we feel them, and then they drop off. But as women, we tend to compound our emotions. So let's just take the example that you have spent all evening preparing a delicious, wonderful dinner for your spouse, your partner, and you are dressed up. You've got a little something lacy on underneath. You are ready for the night. And then they don't show. And they're 10 minutes late. And then they're 20 minutes late. And then they're half an hour late. And so at first you're worried about them. You're concerned. And then you call and you don't get any answers. And you're worried. And then they text you and say, hey, I was blah, 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 be home soon or whatever. And you're now you're angry because they couldn't bother to text you half an hour ago. So now you're concerned and you're angry and you're frustrated because you're all dressed up. You're ready to go. They're not here. And then half an hour goes by. They're still not here. Oh, babe, sorry. I whatever. Ran to the store. And you're like, I made you dinner. Get your butt home. Do you know how tight these underwear are? I've been waiting for you to take them off. And we are then angry and frustrated and concerned, all stacked on top of one another. And so you just throw everything in the trash. You put on your yuckiest pajamas. You take off all your makeup. And you go to bed. And he gets home. He's like, hey. You're like, none for you tonight. I am angry and mad and concerned and frustrated. So no touchy. And we've then compounded all of these emotions on top of each other and then bludgeoned our relationship with him. And so when we're able to really process and understand emotion as a catch and release game. I don't know about you, but I used to when I was young, we would fish and then we'd catch a fish and we'd look at it and hey, look, it's a fish. And then we'd throw it back. That's how we should be with our emotions. And there are emotions that come up that are not fun to feel, especially when we start this self-love journey. We start this self-love journey and we start getting silent with ourselves. We start meditating, we start journaling, and things are going to start coming up. And for me, that was very uncomfortable at first. I didn't know how to handle all of the feelings that I was starting to feel. They were all just coming up out of nowhere because I had spent so long shoving them down and not processing them. And it was affecting my marriage. It was affecting my sex life. It was affecting everything about my life. And our relationships, they need healthy communication. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about healthy communication from our feminine power and how happiness and joy is the sexiest asset you own. But without processing our emotions first, it's we can't take that step. We can't start communicating from a feminine place, from a place of feeling until we're clear on what it is that we feel. And so the emotions that are going to start coming up within your self-love journey, they're for you to work through and to process through. I can't do it for you. And though I can give you some tools that I have used in order to process my emotions. One of the best things that I've ever done for my marriage is whenever something starts to come up, I get frustrated, aimed towards my husband. I see it now. I see it and I recognize it and I take a step back. And that is not the time to talk to him about the socks on the floor. It's not the time for me to bring up one more thing that I think that he should be doing. Because he's over there living his life and I'm over here living mine, and they intersect in places, and I don't get to dictate I don't get to bludgeon him with my emotions just because I'm frustrated about something. So the best thing that I've ever done is I just take a big fat step back and I step into myself, into my space. If I'm frustrated with the socks on the floor or the thing that didn't get done or whatever happens in marriage or something, we had a miscommunication, whatever it is, the first thing to do is to recognize that you're having an emotional response. And then to step back away from that emotion and wait the 7 minutes for it to blow over. And if it doesn't blow over, then get your journal out. Get into nature. Sit and meditate. Sit by yourself in a hot bubble bath and just cool off or steam up, whatever. Maybe do yoga. Maybe if you have a trusted friend, I have my best friend in the entire world. I know that I can message her and I can just be like, rah, 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 rah. Feeling. I'm having a feeling. She's like, I acknowledge you. I see that you're having this feeling. Is there anything I can help you with? Or is it just like you need to clear this? Typically, it's like I just needed to get it off my chest and not explode on my husband. And so when we have those relationships, whether it be a coach, I utilize my coach for that a lot now. My best friend, someone who is not closely, not your mother-in-law, not someone who is closely related to your spouse or your partner, or someone who would judge your partner like a family member, not safe spaces to be lying all over. But to get those emotions out, if it looks like journaling, if it looks like sitting in the car and just like screaming, letting the emotion run its course before we start compounding more emotions on top of it. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to whatever at my husband because of the socks, and then he's going to come back at me. He's going to be frustrated. It's going to make me more frustrated, and it escalates. I want to know in your relationship specifically where emotion has or has not caused friction and issues in the bedroom. So email me with that, post in the Soul Journey Sisterhood with that. I'm curious about that. And then today, I want you to just be really present with your emotions. Whatever they are, good, bad, there is no good and bad, but the feelings, let them be. See what they are, see them for what they are. Catch and release your emotions today. Just catch and release. See what they are, let the 7 or 8 minutes pass, and then move on. And if you need to go back through and parse through why that emotion came up, get into your journal. Get a hold of your therapist or your coach or whoever you need to work through that, and get into the Soul Journey Sisterhood. Share with us what you're moving through. And then tomorrow, we're going to wrap all of this up with how to utilize everything that we just did, all of the who, what, when, where, why, how, and the emotion of communication. Tomorrow, we are going to learn how to communicate in a way that is going to fire things up in the bedroom. And I am telling you this from experience. It is pretty powerful and it is very spicy. So I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging in there with me with a little bit of a longer video. I had to get this to you. Love you tons, and we'll talk soon.